Good morning and welcome to my COVID-19 World Update for today, June 25th, 2020. I want to give a shout out to my sister Susan, who did my new graphic for my splash screen. I really appreciate her help with that. I think it looks pretty snazzy. So we'll get right into it. This is a chart that I set up to show from very close to the beginning of the viral outbreak worldwide. This chart runs from about the 1st of March up through current, and I've divided it out and showed the lines by continent. And so what I did this for is to kind of show how it's progressed as it's gone around the world. If you take a look here at the beginning, you can see that the leader in the world in cases per million people was Asia at the beginning of the outbreak, right? Because the virus started in Wuhan, China, and grew there and then was exported to various nations and countries across the globe. But you can see that fairly early on, Europe took the lead in that. And then it was on or about April 1st when the U.S., it says North America, but that's U.S. and Canada, and most of that comes from the U.S., took the lead as the world, you could say the hot spot for the world. Europe had it for almost a month, and then the U.S. has had it for about a month and a half, and now South America has taken over the lead as the hot spot in the world, and this chart very clearly shows it. You can also see that in this that Australia and the U.S. were running very close alongside each other, but once Australia was able to shut down travel and isolate the cases, they really took a dive, and they've been able to maintain that so far. Might have a little bit of an upturn there, but we'll see how that pans out in Australia as they open up. So this now is a 30-day chart, and it's a chart for Brazil, and Brazil is currently leading the world in cases per million people. And you can see that there is still an uptrend there in Brazil, and in fact, they've got a 3-day significant uptrend going on there in daily reporting. So that's definitely of concern. Here, the U.S., that is next in line behind Brazil, also is showing a definite uptrend. You can see that one that I pointed out yesterday. This here is a Sunday dip. That's a Sunday dip. So you can see that the general uptrend is definitely headed upwards in the U.S. since about June 14th. So that means that something changed in the U.S. around June 1st to June 7th time frame that has started creating this upswing in cases. This is the same time period cases per million in South Africa. There's a definite uptrend in South Africa, and it looks to me like we've got a bit of acceleration going on too in South Africa. So it's significant and getting worse there. In Colombia, in South America, they look a lot flatter as far as their progression and their acceleration of daily cases reported in Colombia. I think once you get into the Colombia area, in other words, in terms of ranking of countries and their medical systems and their reporting systems, I think you're seeing a decent amount of effect here that Colombia may be under-reporting cases, but you need to work with the data that you have, and there definitely is an uptrend there, and I expect it to continue, barring any significant mitigation there. And we have Mexico that is the next, and I failed to mention at the start of this is the top 5. So there are a lot of countries that have significantly less than that. India, for example, has many cases, but cases per million, they fall far short of even appearing anywhere on this slide deck. So Mexico definitely is still showing an uptrend. It's a gentle uptrend, that might also be somewhat related to what we saw in Colombia, where probably their testing rate is a little bit low. I'll try to find some data on that and report back on that a little bit further. Then this, I've changed what data set we're looking at on this. This is all 5 of those countries again represented here, but this is showing you deaths per million people. So this is for each country then, what's the mortality rate looking like on a day-to-day basis. So what we're looking at here is deaths on each day over the last 30 days and checking to see, well, are there deaths increasing? Like you can see in Mexico, there's definitely an increase going on there. Brazil looks to be a gentle sloping up increase. The U.S. is level, or if anything, maybe a little bit sloping down, which is probably because we're getting better at caring for the patients. South Africa seems to have a pretty steady increasing trend line, but not drastically so. And then Colombia has a little bit higher sloping trend line. And that chart's a little bit of a mess at this point, but it does show us a comparison between the various countries. So that's the update for today. Thanks very much for watching. Feel free to comment or get in touch with me if you have questions or you have subject matter that you would like me to cover. Please remember to wash your hands with soap and water. Wear a face covering in public spaces to protect yourself, but even more so to protect others. If more people would do it, I'm confident that we would get this under control and we can save a lot of lives. And please, at the same time, tell your friends. That's the best thing we can do to help this. Thank you.